Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Sermon with Hyde Park United Methodist Church in Tampa, Florida. I'm Mat Hotho, the Director of Production and Online Engagement.
And I'm Dr. Juana Jordan, the Executive Director of FAMU Wesley Impact.
Awesome. Dr. Jordan, it has been phenomenal to have you with us all day today to listen to your sermon and to meet your kids. I mean, your students, and all that.
And you're right. They're kind of like a mix between, yes, my kids and my students. I
Yes.
feel that a lot of times. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. No, they are truly just phenomenal.
They're amazing.
They bring so much energy.
Yes, they're amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And these are just the kids who serve on your board, right? Like
these are our student leaders who actually live right next door to the Wesley house. And so they are living in these brand new apartments that we now have. And they're actually our first tenants to live in our intentional living community.
Okay. And so actually, I'm just going to go down that road for a second. So you guys are building an intentional living community on the campus.
On the campus.
What's the goal behind that?
Well, the goal is to take these students and to teach them how to live in community together and intentional living, learning community so that we can also learn together, so that we can grow together. It actually comes out of Acts 2.
Yeah.
After Pentecost has happened, and the people then began to live together. And as the scriptures say, that they began to live together and they had need of nothing because they shared with each other. And so that is what our students are doing. They share with each other. They are truly a community that is coming together. It's just been amazing to watch.
That is really cool. That's really cool to see that happen. And if you had the opportunity to watch the whole service, you got to meet some of the other students, and all the ones that I talked to, they talked about their love of the community that they have on that campus and the goodness that it's doing for their souls and for the souls of even the non-Christian kids on the campus.
Yes, because what we're finding is that there are a number of students who simply want a place where they feel like they can belong. And the Impact House, that is what we call our house, our gathering house. The Impact House is that place where students can gather and where they will have the sense of belonging. It's just been so beautiful to watch students connect with each other there, build community there. They hang out in the late hours of the night. Now, I'm not there in the late hours of the night, but I do sometimes see that the door has been opened or my little phone goes off and they're there. They're studying together. Yeah. They're sometimes having movie nights together. They're eating together. And we just really believe that when we're able to engage in this way, that not only is the community itself, that intimate community is built, but that it begins to pour out into the larger FAMU community. Yeah. Because one of the things that, and you probably know this, that a number of students and this particular generation, what they really long to have is community, but they also find it challenging to establish community.
Yeah, there was this meme going around online, and just in the last couple of days was everybody wants a village, but nobody wants to be a villager.
Yes.
Everybody wants like a village, but nobody wants to do the tough work.
They don't want to do the work of what it means to engage in the community and the sacrifices that you have to make for community. And you have to make concessions when you are in community and when you're living together.
Yeah. That's really beautiful work.
Yeah. Thank
you. You're welcome. And so in your sermon that people just listened to before listening to this, you had this big phrase of minding the gap. And you had 3 biblical stories that illustrated it.
Yes.
Ruth and Boaz. Remind me of the 3 stories.
So the 3 stories, we started out with Isaiah 58. And so this call of Isaiah to share this admonishing word of God who calls out the people in regards to true worship and false worship. And so we took a look at Isaiah 58, and then we began to move into Ruth, the story of Ruth and Boaz, and then we moved into this parable that Jesus shares about the sheep and the goats.
Yeah, and what it means to align your intentions and your belief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you were telling me that you had another story that didn't quite make the cut, but is a really good example of
it
this.
It is a really good example. And so this is Nehemiah. Nehemiah and the story of rebuilding the wall. The story opens in the first chapter of Nehemiah. He has gotten word that Jerusalem is in ruins, and he loves his home, and he is so moved by what has happened to his home that he goes to the king and he says, can I be dismissed from my work? I know that you need me, but can you please write me a letter so that I can go back home and I can help rebuild my city and my wall and the walls there. And so that story of Nehemiah, of how he goes back and he begins this work of rebuilding the wall. And the beautiful thing about that story too is how when he goes back, how he rallies all the other people, those who felt also some kind of way, may not have known exactly how to start and how to get the work going, but he rallies them, he pulls them together, and they begin this tedious work of rebuilding their city. And then, of course, in the midst of that, because there are always folks who come in the middle of you doing some amazing, great project, and they want the attention to be on them. And Sanballat comes and says, hey, Nehemiah, come down off the wall. We need to have a conversation. And Nehemiah refuses. And Nehemiah says, I will not come down off of this wall. Like, that is the important work. And so I think when we talk about minding the gap, it is about really paying attention to what is the important work of where there are these gaps in our community and where these gaps in our world and how we're called to be attentive to those gaps.
What if someone's listening to this and they are looking for the gaps in their community? What would you tell them to be able to identify those, to maybe have the eyes to be able to see them? What should they be looking for?
I think we should be looking for, and actually Isaiah 58 speaks to this, like, where is their unjustness? Where is it? And then how can I be a part of ensuring that God's justice is shown in the world? In that text, God also points out this opportunity in order to express mercy. We are lacking empathy and mercy in the world. And so I think where are the places where we see that there is no mercy? And so how then am I called to express that?
I like that idea, because you find a gap where the gap is that there is no mercy. And so what do? You go in there and you just bring mercy into a situation.
You bring mercy.
And it can be so unsettling because people are like, oh, I didn't even think that was an option.
Yes.
Because when you forget that mercy is an option, and then you present it, people can be like, oh my gosh.
And I also think too that, so with the mercy, because we say it and I think it sounds like it's an easy thing to do, but mercy actually requires that I put myself in the other person's shoes. And that I am willing to feel and experience what they are experiencing or what they have experienced. And so that can be scary, because we exist in a world where there are people who really don't want to feel. Because when I begin to feel, then it makes me more attuned to the cries of the world. And I don't even know what to do with all of the cries of the world.
Oh, that is tough. And so, oh man, that's such a challenge to people who might be, again, listening to this, to where are those places where you are hearing the cries of the world? And not that you have to step in every single one of them, but just go, I hear it.
And I think that, where are you specifically called? I'm specifically in this season, I'm specifically called to the cries of young African-American students on the campus of Florida A&M. And all that they're dealing with and all of the weights that they carry, whether it is they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay for their next semester. They're also trying to figure out how they're going to balance the job that they need to pay for the next semester and balance the schoolwork that must be done so that they can graduate. Right.
Right.
You know, so I'm called to that community. And, you know, and the students remind me of this all the time, that really I'm just called to make space for them. That's the gap that I'm trying to fill, because students don't have space in order to just simply be who they are and figure out who they are and ask the questions that people may have told them, you shouldn't have asked that question. Don't ask God questions. And we create space that says, oh, ask God lots of questions, because Jesus asked questions.
Yeah. And you probably see students flourishing and opening up and finding hope. And
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Jordan, thanks so much for being with us to share the message.
Oh, thank you.
For being with our community. And thanks for being with us for this episode of Beyond the Sermon.
Oh, thank you. This has been wonderful. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this has been amazing and great. And, you know, I was just telling you earlier, this brings me back to my college days when I was a broadcast journalism major. And I was going to be on TV, on the news. And so this just brings me all back to that. And so thank you for an opportunity to share in this space and with the congregation.
Would you like to then close out this episode of Beyond the Sermon with a sign off?
Oh, sure. Okay. How do I sign off?
Broadcast journalism. Let's hear it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. What I really want to say is go out and attune your ear to where God is calling you to serve. Because when you're intentional about hearing where God is calling, then you'll know exactly where you're supposed to be. So go and be.
We'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.